Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Saturday. It's the 1st of July, 2023. Gonna look at the stakes action here from Belmont, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And I mean around the world, some great racing on both sides of the pond. So, basically here on the East Coast, from about 7 a.m. to about, 11 o'clock at night, ending off at the Meadowlands, it's just some great racing. So I'm going to look at a lot of these races here on YouTube. But going here to Belmont, first things first, hopefully we run today. They had to cancel the first, they had to cancel Friday's card, 5 minutes or 2 minutes after the race was supposed to go off, shall I say, because of the air quality. That's something they should have did earlier in the day because it was just, all morning here in New York, it was just horrible on Friday. Hopefully we'll be able to run this card today at Belmont because it looks like it's going to be a great card. There's two stakes races. They're gonna have good Saratoga implications coming up in the next few weeks. So it's gonna the racing's really starting to heat up, and we're just less than 6 days away until they draw the opening card from Saratoga. They draw opening day next Friday, and they draw the Friday card next Saturday. So I can't wait for that. But let's look at the stakes action for Belmont races 6 and 8. The sixth event from Belmont Park, it is the Dwyer Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a $200,000 purse race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 6 horses going the distance of ground to 1,600 meters or a mile here in the Dwyer. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Saudi Crown. I'm going to go 2-5-3-6 in the superfecta. 2-5-3-6 super, top selection 2 horse, Saudi Crown. 3-year-old colt by Always Dreaming. Brad Cox trains. Javier Castellano gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 21st of May at Churchill. 6.5 furlongs in allowance race, 125,000. And the horse won by 1 3/4 lengths that day and set some blistering fractions on the front end. When he quickened up, he went away with it. It was a very good run. He was very overbet at 55 cents to the dollar, but it was still a very good run. He's coming here to the mile trip, which he should get. Hopefully he can rate a little bit. If he could rate, he could definitely win. But there's, he has the speed to win here. Track's been playing towards speed, outside speed. I've noticed. I don't know if the rail's bad, but nobody's going to the rail here at Belmont the last few weeks. I've noticed. His debut came in mid-April at Keeneland, 6 furlongs and a main special weight, 96,000, and the horse went by 4 3/4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked that day, a little bit wide. But when he got to the front end, he took off clear with a 97 buyer, a very good debut. He is training well at Churchill, 5/8 mile drill, 1 minute and 3/5 of a second, the 8th best workout of 27. And a 5/8 mile drill in 59 and 2, the best workout of 26. Like I said, I think coming to the longer trip shouldn't be a problem. First time stakes, not the deepest field. He could definitely win. I think the 5 horse Fort Bragg is your second likeliest winner for Bob Baffer and John Velazquez. He missed the Woody Stevens a few weeks ago here at Belmont, where he just he just had a slight cold. Had to miss it, so he's refreshing in this race, which I think is an easier spot for him. Most recently ran the Pat Day Mile at Churchill, 1 mile on the 6th of May, and he ran a terrific race, finished second by a neck, cutting back and trip from the previous race. He just kind of stalked. He got to lead. He got caught by General Jim, who had the jump on him. But this horse, he didn't fight. He fought back that day. Not a bad run. He is getting blinkers on for the first time since his maiden victory. I'm going to give him a shot. Something I also like, that they kept him in New York since the, since he was scratched from the Woody Stevens. They didn't bring him back to the West Coast. And, I just like that he's been local for the last month or so. So he should get, adjusted to the surroundings. His last start around 2 turns came in the Florida Derby at Gulfstream, mile and 8th on the 1st of April. He finished 5th by 9 1/4 lengths that day. He didn't break so well. Had to get quarter horse to get good position from the wide poster. And he just kind of hit the wall. Mage ran a terrific race to finish second. Went on to win the Derby. Forte, missed the Derby. Right on to run a decent race, I thought, in the a grinding kind of race in the Belmont, where he didn't run half bad. I'd like to see what Forte does next start out. But, this horse, he just doesn't want to go 2 turns, I've noticed. In the San Felipe, he finished 5th by 9 1/4 lengths, where he just wanted to go. Juan Hernandez didn't let him go. It wasn't a recipe for success there. And then the Los Alfred, he finished 3rd. Just not getting there. He's just a very weird horse around 2 turns. He doesn't like it. He won to run 2 turns, but he had everything his own way in his main victory at Santa Anita. But he's refreshing here off some decent runs. At 8-5, he could definitely win. I'll use him in the pick 5, excuse me. I said earlier on we're going to look at the 8th race. It was the 9th race. Forgot there's a 10 race card today. So the pick 5 begins with this race. But to recap my selection for the 6th from Belmont, it is the Dwyer. Going to take the 2 horse Saudi Crown. Give kudos to the 5 horse Fort Bragg. 2-5-3-6 super. 2-5 in your multi race. So let's head over to race number 9 now from Belmont. I guess kind of local prep race for the Forgo coming up in about 8 weeks' time. The ninth race from Belmont, it is the John A. Nerud Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $250,000 purse race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Belmont main track. I'm going to get wacky with the 6-horse Sheriff Bianco as a top selection. Let's go 6-3-1-5 in your superfecta. 6-3-1-5 super. Top selection 6-horse Sheriff Bianco. This 5-year-old gelding by Spicer. Linda Rice trains. Jose Lascano gets the mount. Was entered for Friday's card, but it was scratched down there probably to run here today. Most recently in the commentator at Belmont, mile 16, 29th of May. And the horse finished third by length that day. And he just sat, he kind of stalked most of the race. The two in front of him, Bank It and Olympic Dreams, just had the jump on him. But this horse got around the race course well. He is stepping up a major class here today, but I think he could see a strong pace to close up with, and I think he can get the job done and run a good race here today. Too bad he ran closing day at Aqueduct on an absolutely sloppy going, 6 furlongs in the affirmed success. He finished second by 3 1/4 lengths that day, and he just was wide, and he just couldn't keep up on the slop. And I'm talking slop. I was there at Aqueduct on closing day. I think I left right before the affirmed success, and I met up with some friends for dinner. Afterwards, I was, literally walking home, and I was walking home in like 3 feet of water. That's how bad the rain was that day. I believe they even canceled the final race in the program after that at Aqueduct. But that there was standing water everywhere. Maybe a weird track. He just wasn't keeping up there. And then prior to that, on a week prior at Aqueduct on the slop, not slop is the week after, an Op 62 claimer. He won by a half length and closing up from nowhere with a good pace in front of him. He got the job done. A good gritty performance. His races over the winter, even if he wasn't winning, he was always running these strong performances. The race prior to that on the 30th of March, going 7 furlongs and Op 62, or he finished second by a half a length that day, and it was stupidly wide, but he's really gaining late. Nothing bad about their run. Should see a good pace to close up with. I'm going to give him a shot here today. I think your second likeliest winner here is the 3-horse Wayburn for Tom Pletcher and Jose Ortiz. Most recently under the care of Jimmy Jerkins in the Westchester Belmont 1 mile 5th of May. He finished third by 6 lengths that day, and he just wasn't keeping up. He was wide, and it wasn't his day to win. It was a very tough Westchester, a few weeks ago, so give him a break. Two back in the Sir Shackleton at Goldstream with the 7. He won by a neck and closed up from nowhere. I thought that was a very good run. And then his seasonal appearance at Goldstream going 7 Op 62, finished second by 4 1/4 lengths. He didn't break so well, but again was gaining. He's run twice here at Belmont. 2 races not bad at all. They've been few and far between, but he always runs bang on races here. I think the 1-turn mile should suit him well. It wouldn't surprise me if he comes back to winning ways locally. I'll use him on the ticket. And also the 1-horse Candyman Rocket. It wouldn't surprise me if he rocks it on the front end all throughout. Since bringing him back to 1-turn, he's become a better horse. That came back in 2021 where he ran the local Gold Fever Stakes where he finished second by a nose that day, and he just missed late, but he ran his heart out on the front end. Came back to win in early last year in a 7-furlong allowance race at Goldstream quite nicely, and that was his only start then last year. Came back to run earlier this winter at Goldstream where he won quite easily, and then with every single race has been getting better. His only subpar race was the Count Fleet Sprint at Oakland, where he just saw a little bit tougher horses, but came back to winning the Run Happy earlier this meet. He could definitely win and steal on the front end. I'll use him in the pick 4 here, training well also. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Belmont, it's the John A. Nerud. Gonna take the 6-horse Sheriff Bianco. Give kudos to the 3-horse Wayburn and the 1-horse Candyman Rocket. 6-3-1-5 super. 6-3-1 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.